Hey everybody, welcome to Sports Shake, where I am Vasti Paul, the CEO and CFO. And this week we're going to be talking about coaches and players. Who do teams value the most? This week we had an up and down situation with the Raiders, with the coaches getting fired and Josh McDaniel just being let go. And they came to the decision after the owner and the veteran players, which included Devontae Adams, Jacobs, and a few other veterans, they all had dinner and sat down and discussed what some of the team's issues, and they decided to part ways with the coach and decided to move forward with head coach Antonio Pierce and also general manager Champ Kelly. So they both came on staff and had a fiery speech and did their thing against the Bears that following week and had their first victory with their new coaching staff, 30-6 over the Bears. Congrats to them. Is roughing the passer flags being called too much, or is it just being taken not seriously as much? Maybe these flags, when these flags are thrown, they should go into the booth and review them. You know, have a topic, have a discussion about the topic, and see if they can figure out if it's actually roughing the passer or is it just playing football. Because these flags and penalties can cause a win or cause an L. And it's happened against the Patriots. And they caused them to win when they caused a flag against the opponent and giving them the 20-17 win. Coaches oftentimes can seem to be the problem solver, and they can also be the problem. John Gruden was fired by the Raiders after signing a 10-year contract for $100 million, which had to be an exuberant amount to get him out the booth onto the field to coach. Making at least $6.5 million at the time, being an analyst, they had to give him a good number to get him out the booth and onto the field. And McDaniels, who had a similar contract for about 6 years for approximately $10 million a year, and the Raiders apparently let him go in the second year in his contract. The remaining 4 years would have to be paid $10 million apiece by the Raiders. Now, talk about free money. The Raiders are giving away money just for you to coach for a year, and if they decide to like you, let you go. So, the highest paid, I believe, to actually coach was Bill Belichick at approximately $12.5 million a year, and that's still one of the highest paid positions as a coach to be held by anyone, you know. So that's just staggering. I mean, Pete Carroll was the second and paid the most at about $8 million a year, and Gruden has had a Super Bowl win on his belt with the Bucs, as we all know. And after his mishaps with the Bucs, they decided to let him go, and after that, he hasn't been coaching ever since. So we're gonna see how that all plays into part with the Raiders and them, because these contracts are looking crazy with 10 years for $100 million, and you get fired within your third or fourth year, and you still got 6 years remaining, and you're still getting paid $10 million a year. Wow. I mean, Michael Parsons called these coaching contracts a scam. Because if these coaches could get guaranteed money and players can't, there's something wrong with this game, and you know, somebody needs to look into these contracts and maybe have a say into it, because people who would rather draw the play up, and you got people actually running the plays. And I mean, me myself, I think it's depending on the team itself, because you have teams who have superstar players and you have average coaches, and that team could go far just off of their players' ability alone. So, and the coaches could just be putting together X's and O's, but at the end of the day, it takes a team to win the game, and with everybody in mind on the same cohesive unit, it all goes on the bright side. So, but if you want to compare potatoes, tomatoes, everybody's important, and it depends on that person itself, and it depends on that team and that particular time itself, and determine that contract. So let's just say the Raiders have a good year with drafting players and they have a good roster, they not necessarily need to go and get that all-star coach. They can have a pretty decent coach and go and perform very well, go above 500. So it's not necessarily, it's about what the team needs at the time, not more so superstardom or position getting paid, So that's why I stand on that. In 2003, it was about a few months after he was traded by the Raiders to Tampa, but way before the draft for 4 draft picks, then went on to be fired from the Bucs and has not coached since. So the league has a way of resetting caps and salaries when it comes to contracts and deals. It's even in college when these coaches go out and have this great season, and that following year their contracts gets reset. So like I said, it's all depending on the market and on the type of team you have at the time. It has happened with QBs itself too. So quarterbacks have set new settings and new caps just by their being able to be mobile and being able to throw. So being a triple threat, reading the defense, throwing the ball, and being able to run. That's where you get that extra bump in your contract, and the team can see you being worth these X amount of dollars, these Lamar Jackson contract, Patrick Mahomes contract. So, hey, if the shoe fits, coaches calling plays, playmakers making plays. If all that happens, then we should have nothing to worry about, right? Right. But this week it wasn't that. Coaches was calling plays, but the players wasn't stepping up. Coach Todd Bowles wanted these players to take more accountability and step up to ownership this week, as he quoted. To their mistakes and errors. The Bucs are now 3-5, dropping down to the division in hopes for a better tomorrow. Offensively, though, Mayfield and company had a field day. Rashad seeing the end zone multiple times. The Bucs capitalizing in the red zone with their tight ends. Mike Evans having a decent game. Everything seemed to be rolling in the Bucs' favor, but the defense was lagging and dragging their foot. So if it's not one thing, it's another. And hopefully, before the postseason, the Bucs will get everything together. Bucs get ready for this week against the Tennessee Titans. They make a few more adjustments, bringing back cornerback Don Gardner to the practice squad and moving Zonsi over to injury reserve after Jamal Dean and Josh Hayes suffered concussion in Week 9. Well, that's all I have for you guys on Sports Shake. Tune in tomorrow for more. Thanks for watching Sports Shake.